Good morning, and welcome to another Saturday Somm-Things with Mods. Hi, I'm Mods, and before I get into this wonderful lineup with my special guest, it's going to be 100 degrees today, Miss Sheila. And speaking of which, she and her husband Tony are renewing their wedding vows in Napa Valley and Las Vegas. So congratulations to them, and on with the show. So today's special guest is Tom Hayes with the Wagner Family of Wines, and this lineup is incredible. I can't thank you enough for joining me, so let's go.
Thanks for having me, Mons. I appreciate it. So the Wagner family is truly a winemaking family. So we're farmers. Chuck Wagner, who's the founder with his parents of Caymus Vineyards, which you probably have heard of, one of the iconic Cabernets from Napa Valley. His family actually wagon trained from Missouri to California in the mid-1800s. So his family's been farming in Napa Valley since about 1857, 1858, right there. So they've been around for a long time, farming a lot of things. Obviously not always grapes early on, mostly grains and cereals and things like that. But as Napa Valley became what it is today, they got into making wine in the early 1970s, and we've added quite a few things. So Chuck is now two of his children making wines with him in the family. So it's an all-family operation. We don't have any investors. We don't have, we're not traded on any markets or anything. It's truly just all done by the family. So it's a unique for California anymore to have the family run and actually have them be the winemakers and the farmers creating the wines. So the first wine that we have today is a really unique wine. It's unique in California in general, in the wine industry. You have 5 different varietals. Conundrum White. We've been making this wine since the late 1980s. Always the same 5 varietals. Depending on what Mother Nature gives us, the percentages change vintage to vintage. Trying to have something that's consistently at a quality level that will be enjoyed regularly. This is not made to be a very complicated wine. It's made to be a very easy drinking, supple, fruit-forward wine. A lot of times when you get white blends, they tend to be not as full-bodied as this wine is, and I think a lot of that is driven by the oak Chardonnay that we put in here. So we have Chardonnay, we have Viognier, we have Sauvignon Blanc, we have Semillon, and Muscat. So always those 5. It's a dry white wine, so not necessarily as sweet as you might perceive it to be, but it does have the Muscat, and Muscat gives it a lot of aromas, a lot of orange petal things.
Absolutely, I'm getting orange blossom and peach. It's not cloying, it's not sweet, it's just very balanced. It has integrity and finesse, and you can definitely smell the muscat. And like you said, the orange peaches, the clementines, it's just beautiful and so terribly underpriced and easy drinking for the summer. And it is summer, so definitely get this, because you could pair this with ceviche, you could pair it with spicy salsa, anything, fish off the grill. It's endless.
Really versatile, yeah.
Right, which brings us to number 2.
Our second wine. So Soleil is our winery in Monterey. So we have it's actually technically San Lucia Highlands, which is in Monterey. It's a little further up on the hill, so it's a very specific AVA within the Monterey appellation. We're farming acreage in the northern end of the appellation, so we're the closest to Monterey Bay. So it's one of the coolest vineyards in that whole appellation, because we get a lot of wind off of the bay and we get a lot of fog. So we're one of the last to have the fog burn off at the beginning of the day, and one of the first to have it whirlwind at the end of the day. So having a lot of great sunshine we need to be able to ripen the fruit in our vineyards. This is our silver Chardonnay, so this is an unoaked Chardonnay. So no oak, no mallow on this wine.
It's beautiful. I can taste limestone. I can taste a little lime zest, a little lemon verbena, a little lemon balm. It's just clean, crisp, delicate. Honestly, this is the first time I'm trying this, and I am just now a big fan, because it has such great acidity and notes of everything you want in a Chardonnay.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times when you get an unoaked wines, they tend to be pretty high acid, and we do get great acid in our vineyard, but because of the ripeness that we get with the fruit, it really carries this. This also has a small percentage of it done in concrete fermenters, so open top concrete. And the concrete doesn't add any flavor, if you will, to the wine, but it does breathe like an oak barrel, so you get a little micro-oxygenation going on during the fermentation, which adds a layer of character to the wine.
I love that.
And there's a little bit of creaminess here, which Charlie, who's the winemaker, Chuck's oldest son, he does both the Conundrum and the Marisole wines. Because there's no malolactic fermentation to give it that creaminess, must be leaving it on the lees and stirring it, and that adds a little bit of body to the Chardonnay.
And speaking of the Wagner family, they have such a rich history, from Chuck Wagner to Joe Wagner, Charlie, Jenny, who's making this next wine. You throw genius out there all too often, but it really applies because they have such knowledge and such talent.
I think it's unique in the fact that because Chuck has been, his family's been in the wine business for so long, and they were making home wine long before they made a commercial wineries. He considers his kids to be the 6th generation winemakers in the family. Nobody went to school to be a winemaker, so there's no enologist in the family.
Okay.
Chuck learned from his father, and now he's taught his kids how to make wine, and it's really a family operation. Third wine we're tasting here, this is, as you mentioned, Jenny Wagner, so she's the youngest of Chuck's 3 children. I say she's like 33 or 34 now.
Oh, we're the same age.
And this is a red blend. So the Walking Fool, this is an actual person. So this is Johannes Gloss, which is Jenny's great-great-grandfather. He was homesteading in Napa Valley in the late 1800s, and he would have to walk up and down Howell Mountain to get provisions for the family every day, water, food, what have you. So this is an actual picture that the family has of Johannes with the yoke that he hand carved and would carry stuff up and down the mountain with. And by all accounts, he was a rather jovial person. So the people in town seeing him walk around all the time gave him the moniker of the Walking Fool.
I smell Zinfandel, I smell black pepper, white pepper, cassis. What grapes go into this?
So this is primarily a Zinfandel-based blend, but there is some Petit Syrah here, which I think adds that little spicy character that you're getting. But that rich aroma of the Zinfandel and full body, it's really a pleasing...
Like cigar box.
Yes.
A smoky element that is just reminiscent of barbecue, and this could pair with any barbecue. A steak, chops, the list goes on. This is the first time that Argonaut has had this wine. In fact, this is the first time that it's been released in Colorado.
Yes, just arrived in Colorado maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. So it's a brand new wine for us. This is unique for us in the fact that Jenny's using some American oak on that, and everything else that the family makes, only French oak.
Now for the Big Daddy. People are very familiar with Caymus Cabernet and very excited to try Caymus Cabernet again. And people are going to be even more excited because Michelle is going to put this on sale. So come on down and let's talk about this last wine.
So this is really the wine that started the whole operation for the family as far as winemaking. Caymus is a consistent Napa Valley Cabernet year in and year out. Can't be exactly the same. Mother Nature won't allow that to happen. But Chuck has sourced from multiple appellations within Napa Valley, so it has time to be able to blend those different characteristics together. So you have valley floor fruit, you have mountain fruit, the opportunity to have a wide palette, if you will, just like a painter, to be able to put together something that stays consistent. This is our 2020 vintage. It's been in Colorado for maybe 2 months, so it's a brand new release for us. And it's a baby, but for Napa Valley Cabernet, it's still a really regular bargain for the Napa Valley.
Gorgeous, 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 because I'm getting all the black fruit, black berries, black cherries, black raspberries, black pepper, and it's so delicate and muscular and refined. And I'm so glad that you're sharing these wines with us, because I want all of our viewers to come on down to get these wonderful Caymus family wines, both white and red. If you see either of us in the store, stop us, because we can talk to you about these wonderful wines. And Tom, thank you so much. I know it goes really quickly, but I appreciate today's lineup. I appreciate you joining me. So cheers.
Cheers.
And thank you to the Wagner family, to you, and to all of our viewers. Cheers.
Cheers.